Mick. And we've talked about this, but I'd love to continue to promote an organization that you guys, this influencers conference, because it's so important for veterans to get together, share, and talk about that they all have a mission. They're driven, especially when you see the suicide rate, Shawn, and all these other things. That mission is powerful.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me on again there, Neil. The Military Influencer Conference is a great event. It really is. And every year it just gets bigger and better. I mean, the list of speakers that are going to be there this year, the number of people that are going to be on the parade deck stage this year, it just keeps growing and growing. There's people that are going to be doing their first podcast episode, which is really cool. So more people getting into this type of community and really trying to help out the veteran community. It's going to be exciting to see and looking forward to seeing who we meet because every year we meet a bunch of new great potential guests and great organizations doing great things. So all in all, it's going to be cool. And plus, you get to run into people that you haven't seen in a year and maybe you haven't seen in a couple of years. So really looking forward to it next year or
No,
next week.
next week, absolutely. So let like take us through what the time goes. I ended up attending an event with you, but the influencer conference is a little different, right?
Yeah,
Then
there's
yeah.
tons of sessions. There's sessions going on all the time. There's things for spouses, students, um, veteran transition, veteran issues. So basically you can take a look at this whole calendar and plan out every day and go to all these different things. And unfortunately, you can't go to everything. So you got to pick and choose what you want to go to, what makes it the biggest impact for you. Honestly, I spend most of my time on the floor of the vendor hall, going through booth to booth, meeting people, talking with people, trying to figure out, who we can bring on the show and what show they can go on. And, so that's where I spend most of my time. So if you're at the conference, just look for the 6'6" guy walking around with the VET SOS shirt on. You'll probably find me.
6'7". I'm
Six,
done.
seven, sorry.
6'7". Especially when you see me, I was at one other networking event, Shawn, and all these people, and he talks about there's millionaires that are standing on this, standing above, and then they have a picture of me, and everyone else is like a midget around me. So see, that's where that. So that was funny. I don't know if you saw that on my Facebook. That's a funny picture, but I'm definitely not a millionaire. So there you go. I'd like to know maybe there weren't any there, and just hey, if you have influence, you'll be shown and seen. So getting out there and doing that, and I think Shawn that these organizations connecting the passion. I mean, this is important in the transition phase because we're dealing with depression, anxiety through military. PTSD is a big thing. Health issues, suicide. Just finding the what you really are planning on doing. Going to an event like this can get you motivated very fast.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you're going to a concentrated area of people that with like-minded goals. Not everybody there's a veteran, which is absolutely fine, but everybody there cares about the veteran population and wants to make things better for the veteran population. So, when you walk in there, you're surrounded by friends, people who all want to try to reach the same types of goals. So you get to have some great conversations, you find some new partnerships, you find new resources you didn't know about. So that the whole thing is just absolutely amazing and a great opportunity for us. And of course, the big thing that I'm looking forward to is finding out where it is next year. Because we've done 2 years in Atlanta now, so they'll most likely move it to a new location. And so that's always a big thing to kind of keep an eye on and see what happens. But all in all, man, I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event. We get to be on stage again live, which is going to be fantastic. Season 2, 3 co-host and board member Eric Brew is going to be back with me on stage. So we always have a great time together, and him and I have done all three mix, the last three mix together on stage. So it's really exciting to get back on stage with him.
And that there's nothing about doing it live, doing a live podcast, right?
Uh,
And being able to see people and talk to them and be on stage and look cool. We've done the Zoom thing, man. It's cool, but I wish that it could be this unbelievable experience that I can go out and see these people and interview them all the time. And you're having this opportunity 3 to 4 times a year to do this, and it's powerful to see somebody across the stage from you instead of, right instead of, the Zoom feeling.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing like being live. Now I can't say that I look cool on stage. I'm just a big, large mammal up there. But definitely, being there in person, seeing the live reactions, having the crowd interact with you. I mean, all of that is just so cool. And going back to the years ago when I used to DJ, I always did better when the crowd was into it. So it's those things that you just get hyped up. And if you watch our Mick performances, the first one, I came in hot. I was loud. I was it was just the energy was there. So there's nothing like it.
So, thinking about this further and going deeper into the whole experience, what do you want to accomplish this time that you haven't? This is what we do when we go to these events. We're like, man, next time I'm going to do this. To give you an example, Shawn, and I guess I'm close to announcing this, and I better deliver on this, is through these experiences of going to events, I'm creating my own events. I'm going to be doing masterminds monthly soon and with all my clients, and they're all invited to be part of the mastermind just because they're my client and other people so we can network together. The key thing I wish is that there's more time to network. I wish there was people out there that would just push them to network, almost speed dating, but building relationships and see how many people you can connect with so that you can follow up once you get back.
Yeah, the one thing I was hoping to be able to do was go in there with the official nonprofit status in place for the company. Unfortunately, we're still waiting on that paperwork. So won't be able to do that, but we do have the paperwork in the process. So one of the things I am going to be working on is trying to find partnerships and people that we can do things with moving forward as a nonprofit organization. And then the big goal I always have is booking out a lot of my calendar. Through the VFW convention, we're able to fill in some spots. We'll fill in a lot of spots probably at the MIC, and then we got the MCon coming up in October, which basically we should be able to fill out all of next year just on those three events alone. So it's exciting. You're going to make some new contacts. You're going to make some new friends. You're going to see some old friends, and it's just the whole thing is just awesome. And I'm excited that my wife will be joining me for this one. So everybody will get to see her, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people poking fun at the big mammal with the little woman. So it should be a lot of fun as we go through it.
That's the only way to go is
Oh
have
yeah.
a little woman.
Yeah, like for those old enough to remember Richard Mole, Bull Shannon from Night Court, one of his stand-up routines, he joked that he married a short woman so they could have normal sized children. So I followed that advice, married a 5 foot woman, and got average sized kids. So
Yeah, I have average sized kids as well, and it's an okay thing. It's all right. I don't know. I mean, like you got to look at what is it great being tall. In a way, it is now more than ever. But when you're younger, not really.
oh no, I've talked to a lot of people that are tall, and a lot of us were shy because we
I was
stood
totally
out.
shy too.
Yeah, we stood out and we were awkward. Those awkward teen years and everything. I've been this height since I was 14. So going through puberty and all that stuff. You're awkward, and so I was shy for a long time, and really it was college when I really became comfortable with who I was. And the other thing that tall people don't necessarily realize is how big they are. Most mirrors in the gym cut off at like my chest. So like I never knew how big I was until I was at a gym that had full size mirrors. And you realize, oh my goodness, I'm like a whole foot taller than this guy, and it's like, starting to realize how big you are and how that can impact a room when you walk in too. So, it's all part of that self-actualization and growing up, and we'll call them big people problems.
All right. So the best place people can go is
VETSOSpodcast.com.
all right, Shawn.